deal. Welcome back. Just joking. Hi, you guys. It's Friend in Your Pocket. Conversations with you, Hope Nation. And there goes Tay. You coming? Come on. Say hey, Hope Nation. Wave to Hope Nation. Say hi. She's coming. All right, you guys. So, achoo. That's what she does when she says when she doesn't want to be bothered. She sneezes. Anyway, you guys, welcome back. Happy to be here with you. I'm going to be dropping 2 shows at the same time because life is so crazy. If you take a look to your left, you're going to be noticing that Mama Pocket's not here. She's here on Earth, but she's not feeling good. So, y'all guys just pray for Mama Pocket. Pray for her mobility. Pray for her to get better. She likes to be here with you guys, but it's dangerous for her to move right now. So we're going to keep her where she needs to be, and she'll be back with us probably like the next 2 to 3 weeks. So pray for Mama Pocket. All right. In other news, life is just getting crazy and crazier. Every time you turn around, somebody's dying. As soon as I open up Facebook or Instagram, I talk about this all the time. I'm seeing rest in peace, this and that. So I just want to take a moment to pray for us, the people that are here. Lord, I pray that you keep us safe. When I open up my eyes every morning, I know that it's a miracle because I know I don't have to wake up. There's a girl who's a mutual friend of a lot of people that I know, and I don't know what happened to her exactly, but it's feeling like maybe she didn't wake up. You know, that she didn't have an underlying health condition, and she was a mom, and she was a wife, and it was very shocking to a lot of people. So I want to say prayers and condolences to people that did not wake up in their families. What do you deal, what do you do? I don't even want to know what that feels like, but I can only imagine. I was talking to somebody, and I just hope and pray that it doesn't happen to anybody, but like everything that you care about no longer matters. Like your dirty drawers don't matter, the laundry you didn't do doesn't matter, the bills you didn't pay doesn't matter. That's it. It's over. So I'm so grateful for every morning that I wake up, I blink, and I look around, and I just say thank you because it don't have to happen. And I think we take that for granted. Besides waking up, when you wake up, you can go to sleep one way and wake up sick. It's happened to me. It's happened to my mom. It's happened to millions of people. You go to bed one way, and you wake up disabled or with some type of illness that you didn't know you had the night before. So every day that you wake up, not just being above ground, because that's a blessing too, but every day that you wake up and your feet can hit the floor and you can dress yourself, you can feed yourself, you can bathe yourself, you can drive yourself or walk yourself, that's a blessing. And we all have to stop taking that for granted because it doesn't have to happen. I mean, so seriously, guys, it just doesn't have to happen. Your situation is bad, but somebody's situation is worse. And I know you get tired of hearing that, especially when you're always going through something. But the fact that you can still feel, that you can still go through things, that you can still struggle because you can still be here is a blessing. And I hate to start the show off on such a heavy tone, but I just know people are dying. You got storms coming, it's hurricane season until October. But with the way things go around in this world now, the storm is all year long. So prayers up for the Bahamas, prayers up for Florida and other coastal areas that experience beach erosion. I was reading an article about the Great Lakes area and how all those people that had homes around the Great Lakes, with the way that the waters are rising, the beaches are disappearing. So that means your house on the beach can't exist because you basically be living in the water. So people took a joke too far because nature is nature. You cannot control nature. So to have the audacity to think that you can have a house on the beach is just, kind of insane. But that's what we do. That's the American dream, right? So live on the beach and get your house out in Malibu, right? You want that? You want that? I don't. Only because I was talking to this old lady in CVS, and we were talking about that, and she was like, all the people that she knows that have homes down by like the Jersey Shore, now their houses are like on stilts now because of Sandy. She was like, I would be so afraid of my grandchildren jumping up and down because the house is on stilts, and then you have to go up a tall flight of stairs just to get in the house. What's the point?
That would be a second home, multiple home.
But you get attached to any home though, right? Like, so that you can't leave nothing there because you don't want to lose anything. Your insurance is sky high. It's like, is it worth it? I mean, it's nice. I'd Airbnb it, but I wouldn't want to own anything like that because nature is nature, and that can happen anywhere. You know, we're tearing down. We live in Jersey. You go around Jersey, which was known for being a suburb. They're putting apartment buildings in the suburbs. That makes no sense. That's the whole purpose of it being a suburb, under the urban. You don't want to be in the urban, so you go under. You go underground. You come to the suburbs. You see what I'm saying? I don't know what they're going to call this once they make the suburbs urban. You think you know? I don't know. So, yeah, it's a lot going on. So I'm just praying for everybody. I'm praying for your health. I'm praying for your strength. I'm praying for your coping mechanisms. I'm praying for your mental health, okay? So, shout out to April Daniels, the wife of LaShawn Daniels, singer-songwriter extraordinaire from Newark, New Jersey, who died reportedly in a car crash either last night or early this morning. They were very tight. They were like hashtag Black Love. They shared everything together as far as I can see. So another wife without a husband. I don't know the details because the details, there are not really a lot of details. So I'm praying for her. Yeah, it's crazy. Drive safe, you guys. And if you can't, don't drive at night if you don't have to. It's dangerous. I think we underestimate the dangers of driving. Do you think so? We just get in our cars and we just expect that we're going to get from point A to point B. Beep your horn, be mad about some traffic, but you're going to get there. It's dangerous, right?
I'm on your live because on the way home, the lady today was wild because it was traffic. She was banging on her head and banging on the steering wheel. And I'm like,
flipping everybody off. I'm like, but it's traffic.
It's the first day of school in New Jersey. We're in New Jersey?
No.
Come to the West Highway.
Yeah. We weren't on the west side yet, right? We were getting onto it.
It's crazy.
We're underneath.
It's getting crazy. Shout out to the first day of schoolers. The first the moving day of college, first graders, kindergartens, senior years, teachers, parents, all the cards are out. So you already know this was gonna happen. Why do we get upset about stuff we already know is getting ready to take place? We knew the summer was only like 6 weeks, right? Where you didn't have like virtually no traffic, only on Fridays and Saturdays. And then as soon as September comes, we act like we forgot that people got to go to school and whatnot. So now you can't just get to where you're going. You got to leave a little earlier.
A lot of times traffic is fake though.
It do be fake.
I think traffic is fake, period.
Really?
Yeah, unless you like
he's like, yeah, I want to debate this fact.
Nah, unless it's like it's an accident.
Right.
It'll be an accident on the other side of the highway, but y'all backed up just
rubberneckers.
Yeah.
That's why they call rubberneckers.
Yeah. And then you get to, like, coming up the West Side Highway, you get to where you need to get to. It's like, I get all the way to the bridge. There's no accident. Why was there so much traffic?
Well, maybe God wants to hold you up a little bit.
Yeah.
I actually enjoy traffic because I can't see. I couldn't see. I had no business driving when I used to drive. And so traffic gave me more lights. I didn't have to worry. I just followed the car in front of me. So when you can't see, traffic kind of helps you because now you have more lights. That's crazy. I shouldn't be driving. You never like been in a storm and you follow the big truck?
Yeah.
That truck helped you get through. I just needed everybody all the time.
Traffic is terrible though, but I already know what to expect when school starts.
No rushing. Take your time. You will get there when you're supposed to get there at the God appointed time. And you cannot be late twice. That's the beauty about this. Once you're late, you're late. Make that phone call like, yo, I'm late, and that's it. That's it.
That's funny.
I'm not going to kill myself trying to get to nobody's job.
I was looking at you pick your thumb.
Oh, why don't you be trying to make up time? You can't make up time.
You really do.
You can't. You hit bumps that way, bumpity bump.
Like,
This dude will find any bump. Any bump. If you need to find a bump on the highway, put Rashad in your car. He'll find the bump. He's the bump finder. He can tear the bottom of your car off, but he'll get to the bottom of that bump. That was brutal.
That should be a slogan for a commercial to have Rashad.
You have him giving him the keys like, I'll fund that bump, right?
That was a good one.
Oh man, that was funny. I can't. So. No, you're not. So, what about your friends? How do y'all guys feel about burying? I'm always talking about friends because I am friend in your pocket. Wow, I talk about friendships, right? So, how do you feel about burying the hatchet with friends? When you have, not like a falling out, but like when you have like that friendship that's in the gray zone, like you don't know whether y'all speaking or not, y'all not really following each other on social media, and no one's liking nobody's nothing, and nobody's texting or nobody's calling, but you got like mad years in the friendship. What do? Do you make that call? Are you the caller or are you the one waiting for the phone call? Because like a lot of times what will happen is like for me, I don't really fall out of friendships. Like I don't have arguments with people unless I have to tell them about something that they did. But I'm not somebody who gets caught like talking about people behind their back or being a backstabber or that kind of stuff. I don't get involved in that. So usually people just stop speaking to me. And I often wonder, okay, like what took place? Why we stopped speaking? And we talked about this before on the show. So I'm usually the person that'll let things go as long as I humanly can, and when I feel like it's the right time to call, and then I'll place the phone call. I get tired of being the person that always has to bury the hatchet in the friendship or whatever. And then usually when I call, it's like one of those like they were just waiting for me to call, and like everything goes back to normal. However, I've grown up a lot, and I started to ask questions like, okay, so like what happened? Because we could act like, you know, we stopped speaking for 2 or 3 years for no reason, but I need to know, at this point in my life, I need to know why we stopped speaking. And I usually get the answer, I was going to call you, but I was just so busy. I don't know what that's about, but I'll take that over nothing, you know, for now, you know, because we're just getting back into the swing of the friendship. So I'll take that kind of like cop out until I can get to the root of it, because it's going to happen again, because usually it's a pattern in these friendships. So if you've had a recent situation with a friend, he actually went through something I went through. He got friend dumped. And we'll see.
Remember I
got the Dear John letter? My old friend sent me that letter saying we couldn't be friends no more. I was a good person, but
no, I don't.
She don't want to be my friend no more.
No. When that happened, you was an adult.
Yeah. she emailed me and said she couldn't be my friend anymore because I was always with my family and my life, our lives were going in 2 different directions, and I was a great person. I never did anything wrong, but she just didn't want to be my friend anymore.
Oh.
And I had went to a funeral like 2 years prior to that had already set me up for this grown white man was talking about how his friend sent him a Dear John letter saying that he no longer wanted to be his friend anymore at a funeral, and he was just talking. It was just hilarious. We found it funny then, but I didn't know I was gonna get the same letter 2 years later from my friend.
Oh, so that's a thing.
So that is a thing. It's really a thing. I didn't know until it happened to me, and then when it happened to Moose, I'm like, oh, it happened. It really happened.
So you got a letter to Moose?
Nah.
No names.
I was just talking to my guy. He was just, you know, we haven't spoken in a minute, so he was like, yeah, we just don't speak. He was like, because we just do 2 different things. Like, you don't smoke, drink, I smoke, so it's like no real reason to, you know what I'm saying? Like, for us to really hang out or, you know, speak.
Ooh. Right? You know who it is too.
Yeah, I know what it is now.
Yeah, that's crazy, right?
When was that?
This is probably like almost a month ago, but it wasn't like he was just saying like, oh, we can't be friends. It was just like that's the reason why I don't hit you up as often as I used to, because you know that's
Right.
something that you're not into. So it's like we don't really have nothing in common a lot. So
Yeah. He got a friend though. So, you know, I know my son, like I know me. He'll still check in, but you just know where you stand with the person.
yeah.
But I ain't gonna go to Cali right here because Cali, they don't do stuff like that in Cali, right?
I've gotten, I guess, friend up.
You've gotten friend up? Uh-oh! We finally got her to say something. So what happened with you?
Oh, her boyfriend didn't want us to be friends. So.
Well, you seem like a good person. Why didn't want to be your friend?
Because he was doing stuff that it wasn't a relationship she should have been in. It was very unhealthy. And usually people who are abusers and manipulators, if you have that friend who has enough pull to like, nah, this ain't where you're supposed to be, they gotta get rid of you. So that was the leverage. And they had just had a baby. So he waited till the perfect moment for that to happen.
That's still don't talk.
No, we're friends now, but I think they're gonna rekindle. She ain't told me yet, but I ain't stupid. So I'm waiting for that call any day now, so I can be like, all right, I hope he don't kill you this time.
Damn.
That's what it will be.
That's
That's what it will be. I'll just have to keep her and her babies in my prayers, and
That's it.
there ain't much I can do about that because I don't have that kind of patience. Like, you gotta want to be saved. I'm not into risking my life to save you.
Don't say it out.
And you don't want to be saved. Like, no.
That's not funny. It's true. It happens. Call the domestic violence hotline. You know? Really, if you're being abused, one of the like she said, the telltale signs that you're being abused, that the abuser is getting ready to set up the abuse. He might not have started it yet physically, but mentally, they separate you from friends and family that love you and, like she said, have influence over you, and they start telling you they're jealous, they don't want us together, they don't understand us, all this superhero bull crap. And then, once they get you all alone and get all your friends and family worn out, then they start whooping your ass. They do. That's what they do. Then it makes you stop wearing nice clothes. You can't get your hair done.
She couldn't work.
Everybody you look at, you try to have sex with, and the next thing you know, you got the black eye. Except so much you fell down the step.
And I ran into the punch. She was stretching. Came around at the right moment. No.
He would never do anything like that. He loves me. He is the only one who sees me. All that crazy stuff. I watch too much Lifetime. I don't know why anybody in 2019 is still getting beat up by some man or woman, because lesbian relationships have so much physical abuse in it. It is not even funny. And I learned that as a teenager, seeing like my friends that wanted to be bisexual, that was the trend, and them girls was whooping their ass. And I'm like, why you getting beat up by a girl? Like, whatever. But so if you are being abused, please know that you're being abused, and if he hits you one time, he'll do it again. Now I ain't gonna front. I was pretty like handsy when I was younger with Andre, only because I had brothers and they were handsy with me, especially my older brother, not the older brother, but you know, the other one. And so I felt like that's how you communicate. If somebody says something you didn't like, you hit them. Because growing up like that, if I said something that my brother didn't like, he hit me or kicked me or whatever. So I thought, okay, good. This is how I'll do, because ain't no man beating me. I always had it in my head. So I was I would say handsy. Boy, I'm abusive. Handsy.
You was destructive.
I was very mean. So I thank Yahweh for removing that spirit from me or whatever, because I could have ran Andre clean off. But his patience, you know, and he knew my heart. He understood my heart. But I was something else. But get help, because it ain't going to get no better. If you got kids, especially if the kid is not by the abuser, your kids are going to get destroyed, and their kids are going to get destroyed. You're going to get destroyed, and it's going to take a lot to rebuild. So the first signs of abuse, don't wear this, don't wear that, calling you names, and then buying you stuff. Right, like, just get out. It's not going to get any better. They got mommy issues, daddy issues, and you can't fix them. So, I don't know how we went there, but yeah, that's what happened.
Oh, my friend Dumpling.
Your friend Dumpling. You've been friend dumped before, right? Or you too cool to be friend dumped?
I just never.
They just don't call him no more.
Yeah. Like, he just stopped checking in.
His friends don't know how to express themselves. That's what I've noticed. He don't have a friend that know how to express themselves. They all need help in the expression department.
Except for what's his name? Your shorter friend.
Oh yeah, he talks a lot. He doesn't know how to.
He expresses
with lips.
himself. Yeah.
Yeah.
He tells you when you're making him mad or hurt his feelings.
He's on my want to go. I think she's on mine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's very expressive.
But
he's a character, but he knows how to sit and have a real conversation. And I think that in Rashad's friend group, they talk about going out and silly stuff, but he's very expressive. Yeah. So
you hurt my feelings, punk.
But that's what you need. You need communication in friendship. So, hey, we're trying to film a show here. Wait. But anyway, so I talked about being grateful. We talked about friend dumpage. Yay! What I want you to take away from this, is that it's okay to express yourself. If you're unhappy with a friendship and you want to keep the person in your life, let them know before it gets to the point where you want to friend them. But if they want to encourage you to smoke weed and do something, that's something different. That friendship might need to be rescinded. But if there's just a communication blocker there, or you're not, expressing yourselves, then just do that. But friends are hard to come by, especially if you grew up with somebody. I always used to say you have friends from time and you have friends from situations. And your adult friends typically winding up being your friends, the ones you work with, the ones you go to college with. Those are the situational friends, And some of that can change if you change your job. But if they're really good friends, you can take them with you. Just because you leave a job doesn't mean a friendship has to end. With some people, it's like that. But if you forge a real good relationship with somebody, as an adult, that friendship is going to go with you. When you're younger, the time friendships, you spent a great deal of your childhood with somebody, but high school and college usually, and relationships usually change that. And when people move. So it's harder to keep those friendships going if you don't have those situations. You know what I'm saying? So find your old friends on Facebook, rekindle, reunite. Oh, shout out to River Park Towers. I had an awesome time at the River Park Tower reunion. I always love seeing my old friends. It takes me back to a time when life was so simple and no bills, and it seemed like the summer was never ending, and you just had good times and bad times with them. But at the end of the day, you can still look at them as adults and your children and hug them, and those are the people that knew you. So really cultivate those friendships if you can, if it's not too much for you.
Yes, shout out to the first show.
Hey, boy. Friendships are good. Who's your oldest friend, Rashad?
Oldest friend?
Yeah.
Damn.
Okay, let's put it like this. Who's your oldest friend that you've never lost touch with? Like, that has been through every situation in life with you?
Oh, every situation in life?
Well, most of them.
Probably AJ?
AJ? But no, because he moved.
So what do you mean, like that's
like
current
that
now?
That's current now.
Oh, that's
I mean,
AJ.
What AJ watches the show. So AJ, you've been there, but you left us, buddy. So, but you're still around. That's the blessing. But I mean, like that hasn't missed a beat.
That I can say, damn.
Okay. And your Portia. And for me, a friend that has never missed a beat, I'm gonna have to say my cousin Tiffany, because I have friends, but I always have different time periods for friends. So I kind of stopped speaking. Me and Tiffany, and out of our whole adult life, we stopped speaking for like 3 years altogether. 1 year, one time, and then 2 years another time because some shit went down. But we back. But in 43 years, because she's 6 months older than me, in 43 years, we've only not been around each other for 3 years. I think that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Your sister is your oldest one. So you can shout out your sister.
Oh, shout out to my sister.
Tell her name.
Oh, Samira. She's not on Instagram right now.
She's not?
But she deactivated it for a little while.
Oh, she needed a break.
A break, yeah.
Her hot girl summer was too much.
Shout out to her.
What about you? Oh, and Atia.
Yeah,
cousin. Yeah.
Me?
And Dawn. Let me just stop right there. Dawn, but Dawn again, like, you know, I have friends that move. So Dawn is like AJ. She'll always be around. She's always family. But we did have periods where long stretches where we didn't see each other, didn't know what each other was doing before social media. But Dawn and like Wanda, I have like a few friends that like my oldest friends that, you know, through every phase of life they've been around. So like Wanda and Dawn, shout out to y'all.
Oh, that's me, my sister.
Shakima, you know, we miss beats, though, but that's what I'm saying. The person that I haven't never really missed a beat with was Tiffany. Or what about you?
I don't know. I was have to say like Kimber, Dad.
Your cousins and your brother.
Yeah. That's it.
That's it, see?
Yeah.
So that's why family is so important. When people start telling you about your family and trying to pull you away from your family, don't let them. And I would say famous for you, right?
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, famous.
Yeah. So, yeah, so your sister and Porsche, famous and Dan.
I mean, my aunts too, but because we were separated for a while.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
When
like
we
that.
got back, we was back on and we've been on since. But,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out to family. People always give crap about family. Family is the joint. You just gotta work it right. They will get on my nerves, but hey, it is what it is. Family. What else do I want to talk about? After I say this quote, then you go into your tangent. Do you have a tangent? Oh, sure. Okay, cool.
I was gonna think of one. I didn't when you said you were gonna interview us. So well, then never mind.
Okay, so then after this, I go into the interview. So we're watching the cheesy movie on Hallmark, and one of the quotes that was so dope. I love quotes. I love words. That makes sense. It was, the fear never goes away, so you may have to do it scared. I was like, yes, that is such a good quote. I woke up to hear it. And I think that is so true. I think a lot of times that we are so fearful, we get crippled with fear, we don't move or whatever. But sometimes we just got to have that fear factor there. Our spidey senses be tingling that something may happen. But at the same time, sometimes you just got to do it. You just got to push. It's like when you first learning how to drive and right before you just get on the highway. You're going to have to get on the highway because you can't take the streets everywhere. So you got that fear. You drive very cautious because fear will do that. You won't get all lackadaisical and have one hand on. You got both hands on the top. Which one? The wheel. I said the tire. Don't want to do that. Both hands on the wheel. And you're so focused because you want to get to your destination safely. But you're pushing through the fear. And so you're scared. But you're doing it. It's like taking the training wheels off for the first time and you realize, hey, no one's behind me. I'm not getting pushed. So not everything, because sometimes when your spidey senses be tingling, sit your butt down. You need to listen. But if it's something that you got to rise to the occasion and step out of your comfort zone to get to the next elevation point, then do that. So in light of all of that, I said, you know, I'm always just blah, 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 blah. I'm just one big talking head. I wanted to ask some questions so you can get to know the team and why we are a team. So I don't have any, I'm going to let Yahweh guide my questions, and because that means I'm not prepared, but I want to do it. So I'm going to ask one question. I want, a brief little synopsis. And we're going to start with Rashad. And I was teaching him earlier because when he was a little boy, he said on New Year's Eve that I was videotaping now I have the recording, it's lost footage. But I asked the kids, he had to be at least like 7. What do you want to be when you grow up? And he was like a Ninja Turtle. I was like, okay, that's not a real thing. However, I'm assuming you want to be a Ninja Turtle because they were so freaking cool, right? So, I want to ask you, Rashad, is your life meeting your expectation?
Expectation of being a Ninja Turtle?
No!
Oh.
In general.
In general? Oh,
do you have, first of all, I want you to tell them where you went to school and what you went for.
Well, I went to SUNY Purchase.
Yeah, there.
I went to SUNY Purchase and I went for...
Class of what?
When I graduated. 2013?
But he went to school for a long time.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
On and off. But yeah, I went to Bronx Community College. I got my associates in psychology, and then I took off 4 years, and then I went to SUNY Purchase to pursue my bachelor's degree. And I started out pursuing psychology, and then I changed to just liberal arts so I could ever get out. So I was over it. Yeah. I was over it. Plus, one of my psychology teachers told me that unless I plan on going to school for another, I think 6 or 7 years, there wasn't no money in psychology. So that helped my decision. Yeah, she was very straightforward with that. Is my life meeting my expectations? I would say yeah. In a way, I'm happy with the work that I'm doing. With being able to help people and not give back, but just help people and help kind of guide people and give advice. So I am an admissions associate at an IT non-for-profit organization called Scholars, where they provide free technical training for underprivileged communities. So people who are on, public assistance, who are unemployed or underemployed, people who just have an interest in IT. They provide free certification. So if you're interested in IT,
shameless plug.
Yeah. So if you're interested in IT support, cybersecurity, systems administration certifications, hit me up. Shoot me a DM or whatever.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. That's it.
Oh, that's it?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's good. So the flip side is, what would you tell your younger self? If you had a phrase that you could tell your younger self about what life would be like now, what would you say to yourself?
Get rid of fear.
Okay.
Yeah. Get rid of fear. That would be what I would tell my younger self.
Okay.
Because I felt like I was, but I know being younger, you don't live with fear factors or boundaries. So you kind of just do whatever, and whatever you're good at or whatever you excel at, that's what you do. You don't put the doubt or the I can't do factor on yourself. So I would definitely tell.
So my quote was good, right? That quote that I picked up from the Homo channel. That was good.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people carry that.
Yeah. So I'm gonna skip around. I'm gonna go to one of the young vets over here, May. I had to get her out the way because she was gonna try to weasel out. She's probably trying to go to the bathroom. And like one day, I gotta do. Like, no, do. Read that book, girl. All right. Hey, London and Damaris. We're praying for Florida that you don't get a lot of rain. Yeah. Praying. Okay, so, little one, tell them where you went to school. I'm gonna guide your questions because I ain't letting you get out of nothing.
Okay. I went to Fairleigh Dickinson.
Class of
2016 and 2018.
This 2018.
Oh.
Yeah, because she had 2 graduations. You know how they do in private school. It's 4 years. Like, why have 2 graduations?
Well, that actually helped me because I got a car with the new buyers program. So shout out to that degree.
She did. Well, see, if you didn't know that you can get a car because you have a degree, she just told you. So, right, Moose? Centurion Motors Group?
Yes.
Okay, anyway, going back to May. So, class of 2018 and 16. What is the one thing holding you back from being what you want to be? Whatever that thing is. Because with millennials, you don't know what the hell they want to be. You just know they want stuff and they want to be important. But what I've discovered is it's a whole bunch of space in between here to there. So what was my question to you, Jamel?
What is holding you back?
What is holding you back to being what you want to be?
Well, one, I haven't figured out what I want to be. And then the other thing is finding whatever that thing is hearing some opinions.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, why are you doing this? Or you should be doing this,
right,
kind of thing. So trying to please certain people too,
mm-hmm,
in the same realm of it, because I heard, I won't even go into that, but
so you feel like you have a lot of pressure to become.
yeah.
But who are you getting it from?
Right, that's what I'm trying to Hey, I don't know.
I feel like
no. It's pressure. I put my pressure on myself because I want to be somebody and I want to be able to, make more money and stuff. But pressure from other places too.
Okay.
And it's a lot of pressure, and it's like, hey, slow down a little bit, because I'm not asking you to help me with nothing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I'm not asking you to give me no money, so let me find my thing.
You just need to find it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm trying to find it. I'm not sitting on my hands, but
Yeah, because she is a communication specialist for Elmwood PD. See? I said it right.
Yeah.
Thank you. I put some respect on your name. Okay, so she's a frazzled millennial. And she gonna find her way. Y'all leave her alone. Stop asking goddamn children, so what you gotta do next?
Yes.
What is the next move? It's a way you can ask the question, because I am very upfront about asking, so what's good? All right, what we doing? Not in the way that people used to ask me, because people used to outright tell me, we can use your degree. When you gonna get one? Like, it puts up more automatic defense. Like,
right.
You remember we were just having a conversation with one of my little cousins, and he thought I was coming at him, and I was like, whoa, that how you look? Well, I was like, wait a minute. I had to just go leave the room and come back later, because I didn't know where that energy was coming from. But I knew where it was coming from, because he went to an Ivy League university, and he's being asked that question. Because after you go to an Ivy League university, or you make a big to-do about going to a school, then it's like, okay, so what you going to do now? But it's not like a fairy tale. You don't get a degree and jump into a job. Now, some people do have that story, because they're now with my little cousin, and like she goes to a school where they really have, what's the word? Resources. They got their money. She goes to Columbia, and they don't want to look like failures. So they set their kids up with all type of stuff. And so it just all depends on where you go to school at, the kind of help that you get. And you get what you pay for. And sometimes you don't, because Fairleigh Dickinson, you pay a lot of money, but they didn't have a lot of resources.
No.
And
some good people.
Yeah.
Good references, but I don't know.
That's okay. You're going to find it.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah.
All right. So she gonna find her way, and then we're gonna bounce to Miss Resumes by Tam. And then my question to you is, what do you say to somebody your own age? Not to your younger self, because you are who you are. You're so young. So what would you say to somebody who is a senior in high school?
Yeah. I would say you can go to the right school, for sure. And don't waste no time while you in it.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
That's solid. And just because a school is designer doesn't mean you will be able to buy designer. Be careful about schools with big names. Sometimes it's better to be the big fish in a small pond. So sometimes going to your community colleges and universities are just as good as going to the private, and they have more resources. So think about that. As you start your school years, as you college freshmen start, start really thinking about, because freshman year is really every school year is only like 8 months. You don't have a lot of time. Every semester is like 4 months. So really think about what you want to do besides partying, besides pledging and all that cute stuff. Start getting really focused, on what you want to do, and identify those adults that work on your campuses that can help you. And that's at work for adults. That's at, middle school, elementary school. start identifying the people that can get you to the next level. But you first have to know where you're trying to go. Because you don't want nobody to steer you in the wrong direction. So Tracy, when you are a California native, did you ever see yourself being where you are now on the East Coast?
No. I still can't believe I'm here. I never ever had a desire to live anywhere else. I always thought I would live in California, grow old in California, be in California. I didn't think I would ever live anywhere else.
Has the East Coast exceeded your expectation?
No.
In any way? We ain't talking about the weather because I know you.
I was just about to say that.
Not weather. I already know it hasn't exceeded my expectations either.
Yeah.
So that's a general consensus.
Exceeded. I don't know, cause I didn't give I didn't get a chance to really thrive like that in California, cause I came here right around adulthood, right around the time things get serious. So I moved here when I was 23 or 24, and now I am about to be 33. No, I'm 33 now. I'll be 34 next month. So I came right
10-year
before
anniversary.
Yeah, I came here right before you really start to get the swing of being an adult. So I don't know, and I didn't really have. I didn't think about it. I mean, I guess when I was younger, I didn't really think about it. As long as I graduated high school and had a job, I was fine. Then, like, that was my only priority, is being able to pay my car note and my cell phone bill. Because I've always had a car. And nobody ever buy it for me. But if somebody wants to buy one, how that moves.
Right. I like that. That's it. You do that. Ooh.
So what advice would you give someone who is, I was talking to my little cousin, she was saying how she's here, at school from the West Coast, from Seattle, but the thought is she's getting scared now, the thought of living here after graduation. And I'm like, you already live here. But it's like the training wheels come off after she graduates. So what advice would you give to someone who wants to make the big commute in their head, but may be a little fearful to actually just go and do it?
Give it your best shot, because it just might work out in your favor. Don't be, I guess, again, afraid, because me moving to New Jersey, I probably ended up accomplishing a little bit more than I may have if I would have stayed in California, given how things are set up there. So here, I got here and they accepted experience over degree. So like right now, financially, I do better than almost every person I know with the degree.
That's what I was waiting for. There we go. That's what I was waiting for. So yeah.
And he is the
So
direct
East
benefit.
Coast East Coast has their advantages. And
Well, I'll say this I'll say this about
both.
both of y'all. Y'all have both. Y'all got talent. So I think both of y'all expectations out of life expectations have got exceeded abundantly.
Well, yes, with Taylor.
Yes, and with y'all, because it takes two to make a baby.
Oh, yeah. So nothing about being in New Jersey or on the East Coast is anything that I ever would have foresaw. But for somebody who's thinking about it, sometimes you need change. And my father used to tell me when I was younger, sometimes you gotta move away to get your footing, to get to where you want to be, where you were. So like he lived in Louisiana for a little while, and then he came back to New York. I have not gone back to California yet, but we never know, it might happen. Maybe it's been a long time already, but you just never know. So if you are thinking about moving, go for it. It might work out for you.
It worked out for her.
It definitely did. So yeah. I mean, and then vice versa, because I know people who went to California and did amazing coming from New Jersey.
It also depends on what field you're going into.
Right, that too.
Yeah.
And I didn't have a field. When I came here, I started out at a clothing store. I worked there for a couple months, and then I got into dialysis. I was a tech. I did that for a couple years, and then I said, that's it, I'm getting off the job because I don't want to deal with this no more. And then I started my career in administration. So it does have everything to do with what you are into. Because, like, if you're a nurse, you probably could get a job anywhere.
Yep.
Nurses are pretty much and IT.
In demand. You gotta get you something. If you want to move around and have success, you have to have something that you can carry with you, a special skill set that's in demand. Not saying that you're an actress, because actresses are not always in demand. You know, so a lot of people go to California with, like how people come to New York with big bright eyes thinking everything's going to work out because they watch the television, and it don't work that way. But she's a prime example of how you can not have a blueprint, not really have an idea, no expectations, and just kind of go. And sometimes it's better to just not have expectations. Oh, see, she did have expectations.
I thought I would be here real quick, do something fast, and go right back home. I didn't think that I would be here for more than 6 months.
Everybody thinks that. Right. I was just going to date Andre real quick. I'm going to get his number, and real quick turns into almost 30 years. So sometimes that real quick thing turns into forever. So that's nice. I asked everybody a question. I didn't ask Moose. So Moose. I guess my question is, I'm always so concerned about hoop dreamers. He was a hoop dreamer. He's a hoop dreamer. But Rashad, I think he held on to the dream. For a long time. But he's strong in the sense that he'll, I always felt like he'll recover. I didn't know if Moose was going to recover from the hoop dream. So he did, though. He found something that he loved to do, something that he was passionate about. So my question is, from a kid, he loved cars. He knew about the car. His father used to buy him the little, what was those trucks, the 20s? No, not the, that's what's too. But he used to buy you the trucks, that were special trucks with the spinning rims. Whatever car was out there would make a truck. And you had that Cadillac truck.
That blue dream, where is that dream now?
I don't know. But he knew everything about this fake car. It had specs and he knew every one of them. So my question is to you. Should someone follow their childhood dream? Because you did everything, but you wound up right back at cars. So do you think you would have been more successful if you went to cars straight on?
Yeah, but the thing was, I wanted to work on cars. I wasn't thinking about selling.
I know you was thinking about something, but you are in the car, and he still studies cars. So it makes him very good at selling a car because he's very knowledgeable about the car.
Yeah, maybe if I just would have went into it right after college instead of trying to do the hoops.
Mm-hmm. You didn't try, you did.
I did, yeah, but I'm just saying, like, I would have been, further in, but, I guess this is a part of the journey.
Of course. So what would you advise someone who has, like, a legitimate fetish as a kid? Not something that's, like, nasty. Because kids have a lot of crazy fetishes. But, like, something that they're really interested in. Would you advise them to kind of, like, maybe stick to it, or? Yeah,
I would. If they, if they really loved it, like, they wanted to be, like, an engineer, civil engineering, or an architect or something like that, I would tell them to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, if they like a sport, an athlete and a scholar, I'd say. I forgot how to do it, but student athlete, yeah. I would tell them if it's something that they've been wanting to do for a very long time, then do it.
Mm-hmm. So trade school versus college, what would you choose, knowing what you know now?
If I was gonna be into, what I'm doing right now, you don't need college. Like,
so the question is trade school versus college. And just one answer, that's it.
I mean, I probably would have went to college because I was still playing ball.
Right. No, I'm saying what you know now.
What I know now,
Right.
probably just trade. If I knew I wasn't gonna be playing ball,
Right.
just trade because you don't need to learn all the other stuff. You just need to focus on whatever you want to do. So
Right.
I think if you're whatever you want to be, and if you have the opportunity to just do it as a trade, then I would suggest doing it. But if you wanted to get the college experience, just being on campus or whatever, then do it. College, being on campus and college is not for everybody.
Yeah, I was gonna say we ain't gonna dump on college.
No.
Okay.
I'm saying, yeah.
It's true.
It's not. I didn't finish.
You only went for 28 days.
Yeah, but I didn't.
20.
That wasn't the right school for me though. But
you didn't want to go back to any other school either, so you just didn't want to go to college, and that's fine.
I didn't want to go back to school because of I was gonna have to do the math.
So you didn't want to go to
college?
college?
Math. Honestly, if I didn't have to do.
But you got to do math, so you didn't want to go back.
And
you cannot get around math. So
I wasn't trying to get around it, but I just didn't want to take a class that didn't benefit me. It was like I'm doing double work.
What you mean?
When you take remedial math, that don't count. There's no credits.
But was you going to do good in remedial math?
I don't know.
You needed it. It's not double work. Double work is when you're doing something unnecessary. If you need the fundamentals of math, then there's no way to get around math. You have to. I said this Russian dude. He was my tutor, and he said if math is a house, and if the foundation is bad, it's all gonna fall apart. So he said we're gonna start at the beginning. And I was pissed because I didn't want to start because I know math. I'm a scientist. I'm a this, I'm a that. I'm an A student. But he was right. The way I was being taught math, because see, the way I learned math is I would just make up my own theorems. And I would always get the answer, but I couldn't show you my work. And that's just a problem that I have. So, but he was, if you ever had a Russian friend, that kind of stuff don't fly with them because they follow the rules. And I just didn't follow the rules. So he was pissed off about that. So, yeah.
But what's the general question? Did you like can?
No, everybody had a different
everybody had a different question.
Yeah.
All right, I thought that.
It kind of all. I'm letting God guide the question. There's nothing. They're not written down on this paper or nothing. This whole thing is impromptu at this point.
I think every kid from the hood had either hoop or football dreams.
Well, I think what every kid in the hood needs is a trade, and I was a dead set against trades. But seeing how many, seeing how many kids are just wasting their life smoking weed and standing around stinking and being a disappointment to their parents, they all need to go into trades. So instead of having high school, kids should be going into work. Like high school, when you identify the kids that are going to struggle in high school, instead of putting them in detention and suspending them, give them a job and send them to work. And you're going to get a different kind of kid, because I always feel like responsibilities bring the best out of you. Like when you're a big brother or big sister, you could be a rotten individual in the street, but this person is the greatest big brother or big sister because that responsibility is there. So I think when you give a problem child a responsibility, that's why a lot of girls have babies, because they want somebody to love them and this and that. Give somebody a responsibility, like a job or task or whatever, and you're going to get a different kind of individual. So it'll make people rise to the occasion. So that's always been my thought. When you have bad kids, give them a younger kid and let them tutor the younger kid. That older kid is going to want to do better because now they have somebody looking up to them. And it just works like that. So that was my questions. How much time we got? Because we went over time. Way over? Oh, wow. We almost an hour. Well, we might as well go to the additional 5 minutes. Any questions for me? And then we'll end it. No? You don't have a question for me? Okay. You have a question for me?
Do you wish you would have went to nursing? Not nursing.
Even though there's nothing wrong with nursing, but I didn't want to be a nurse. I wanted to be a doctor.
You wish you would have went to med school?
Yes. Yes, I do. Just because you want to live this life with no shoulda, woulda, coulda. But the more I learn about myself and about the journey, I know that I was supposed to be doing exactly what I'm doing now. So do I, just like I wish I spoke Spanish and French. I wish I spoke like 7 different languages. I wish I would have went to finish, went to med school and finished. I wish I would have done all of that, but I'm grateful for the opportunity to be able to transition in the middle of the game, So, yeah, I do. And if I had money, I probably would just do it so I could challenge myself. But I don't regret none of the,
sacrifice.
No, I don't regret no decision I made, because you wouldn't be here right now. Like we probably wouldn't be as close. I would have the money and all that, but my family would be in disarray, and that's not acceptable to me. So I got what I needed. Question?
What's a skill you would like to master?
Like I just said, speaking other languages. Like I love languages. I try to learn words here, words there, out of all these different languages, but to be able to be like fluent and conversational and comfortable, yeah, I would like to learn. The first one I like to conquer is Spanish, of course, and then French, and French, because a lot of our African brothers and sisters speak French, and I think it's so dope. Even though why they speak French, because of the situation that took place 500 years ago or whatever. However, when the girls were getting their hair braided, and there was a white couple in there, and a white girl was getting her hair braided in cornrows, and I didn't know at the time I was sitting there, the girl didn't speak no English. She didn't speak a lick of English. She only spoke French, and they were flowing. I was like, that's so cool. You know what I'm saying? So it's a sophisticated language, but it also connects us to a lot of our African brothers and sisters. So I like that. So yeah, and of course Mandingo, Swahili, a lot of Arabic, a lot of different. So if I could learn languages, that would be the skill, because that brings forth communication, global communication, and I think that's the ultimate skill. Question?
Yes. What is?
She has questions.
What is the scariest decision you've had to make?
Scared, yes.
Like, what decision held the most fear?
Oh,
I
well.
think I know.
Say it and I'll let you know if you're right.
Telling Grandpa and Anthony that he was pregnant with me.
Yup.
Telling Grandpa you was pregnant.
Yup. That is it. Because I'm very open about his coming of being, and I was at the abortion clinic and things didn't work out. I had the wrong Medicaid card, and I know this sounds crazy, but you have to understand I was 18. And so I was scared. My family was a mess. Nobody was doing nothing they were supposed to be doing, and I ain't had no business having a baby, but I was helping raise everybody's kids. So I felt like, hey, we just add another one to the crew. So telling my mom, it was like, me and Andre, I was like, yo, we just gonna go tell her. We'll go shopping, and go home, tell my mother. And her answer was, you gotta tell your father. Mind you, my father wasn't even in the house. He was being a bad parent at the time. Why was I afraid to tell him anything? I couldn't tell him I was the biggest something, and he should have been all right with it. But me having a baby turned into, picture it, it was 21 of us. My mom told my brother, Anthony, and he was very, very disenchanted with the idea of me having a baby. So I was going to be on welfare and all this stuff. Never been on welfare. However, he proceeded to tell my dad before I could. So it was New Year's Eve. We were at Benihana. It was 21 of us. We were supposed to be having this big family, crazy dysfunctional family, because my father's girlfriend and her 3 sisters were there. The sister wives were there. It was nuts. It was just, and by the time the night was over, everybody left. All you heard was cars like murking off, and everybody was mad at me. And everybody went and got high because I was having a baby. Meanwhile, they left me with all their damn kids. Right. So they blamed that escapade on me. I call it Mardi Gras because it usually lasts about 7 days. And so, yeah, I was like, I was like the disappointment because I was supposed to be the doctor, and I was my last year of high school. I had graduated early, but I stayed so I could be in school because I knew I was going to be pregnant. and do college work. And yeah, that was the scariest time. But after I said it, I'm like, the hell you getting that for? You a deadbeat. Like, at the time, like, now I got a chance to be angry. Like, you don't have no right to be mad. And I was pissed off with my brother because I was raising his kid, and he had the nerve to be outing me about having my own kid. So I had a lot of mixed emotions going on, and it was the right thing to do. Like, when it didn't work, that's why I know one thing. Don't force a situation. If something don't work, like turning the key in the car, you keep trying to turn the key and it don't work, sometimes the best thing to do is to leave. You go flood the engine. You can do all these like different things to damage your car, right? And so that was the thing. Like, if I can't get this procedure, then it ain't met, and it wasn't met, and I knew that from an early age. I didn't force things that wasn't supposed to be forced. And having him has been the joy of my life. I love kids. He turned out to be a wonderful kid. We got a chance to break the cycle in our family of broken homes. He's, the first kid in our immediate family, and then Taylor, that's not in a broken home. Like, that's kind of sad. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of kids in our family. So I was happy I was able to do that. And I can see the difference when a kid has two parents versus, one strong parent and the other one coming to visit and one bad. I see the difference. He's a solid young man. He made great decisions, like this young lady right here. And when he asked me that about school or whatever, he knows that's one of the things that I sacrificed. I put my family first before money, because basically I only wanted to be a doctor because it was easy for me. I could remember stuff. And I was a great student, but I knew I could get money. So that's not why you should go into things, though. Because when you hang around with a lot of doctors, and I got doctors in my family, they're not the most mushy, lovey people, fun-loving people. They're kind of cold, and they have to be for a reason, because they're dealing in life and death situations. So I learned that, that's not for me. That's not my personality. I'm smart, but I can apply myself in other areas. So I chose psychology, which doesn't pay money, like he said. But I got a chance to, stitch up souls instead of holes. And I got a chance to be around people. And I think I made the right choice. And I keep doing this podcast because I see it being shared in other countries. My views are very low in the United States. I don't like that. However, when I see it in other languages and stuff, because I have been seeing it, and I'm like, okay, cool, it's getting out there. But it's like one of those things where you just have to keep on doing it. If it's something that you're good at, and it's something that Yahweh, God has put on your heart to do, you just keep on doing it, because at the end of the day, you have a body of work. And when I go on Google and I Google the team and I Google myself, we have a tremendous body of work that I'm very, 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 very proud of. And we good? And I'm just happy that you guys are here with us today.
Wow.
Oh, it stopped?
Yeah.
I think you only go 60 minutes, but that's okay. Add some more. Just, I'm about to wrap it up anyway. But, so I'm just happy that you guys tune in. I'm happy that you guys are watching. And at the end of the day, the body of work is what I'm most excited about. It's like when you watch award shows and they have all this footage of this person talking and doing these things or whatever. We're creating that for ourselves. We're not waiting for mainstream media to give me that platform. That's the beauty about this world that we live in. We can create that for ourselves. And Friend in Your Pocket podcast and Hope Nation and Resumes by Tim and Musa Santorio Motors and all that stuff are all ideas that someone had and they made it real. So shout out to my friend Just the Essence. His new book comes out on the 27th and it's called something about creating moments that become movements, something like that. But it's all about having something that's a thought, creating thoughts that become moments, or something like that. It's about that. You know what I'm saying? Having a thought, making it real. Like Nipsey said, what did he say, Rashad? I spoke some things into the air and they appeared. What happened? I said the what happened part. But yeah, so I just want you to know that is possible. And in the words of Nipsey, and I'll leave you on this, hustle and motivate. He says a line, it's not elaborate, but F what they say, I'm saying this. I really love that. I felt that because forget what the world has to say about what you're going to do. Forget fear, forget doubt. Say this. And that's what we have to say to each other, to ourselves and each other every day. Say that. Say that thing that motivates you. And I'll leave you on that note. Thank you for being with us. Right, Taylor?